Picture this. You open your eyes, and before you even get out of bed, you already feel a heavy fog pressing down on your mind. Your hands feel weak, your legs don't want to move, and a sense of dread settles deep in your chest. You wonder if today will be another day of high readings, more medications, and that quiet fear of losing your independence. But here's the powerful truth most people don't realize. Your morning isn't just the beginning of your day. It's your golden opportunity to reset your entire system. The decisions you make in those first moments can either protect your nerves, your eyes, and your kidneys, or silently push you closer to complications that rob you of freedom and joy. I'm Dr. Jonathan. Over the past 25 years, I've walked beside thousands of people over 60 who thought they had no control over their diabetes. Many of them felt like prisoners in their own bodies, trapped by morning blood sugar spikes that left them exhausted, dizzy, and afraid to start the day. I've watched men and women over 60 transform their mornings from a time of fear into a time of power. They've gone from dreading each sunrise to waking up with excitement, knowing they're actively fighting back against diabetes instead of surrendering to it. Today, I'm going to share the top 3 morning habits that have changed the lives of my patients, people just like you. Habits that don't require expensive treatments or complicated gadgets. Habits that you can start tomorrow morning to lower your blood sugar naturally and reclaim the energy you thought was lost forever. If you've been waiting for a sign to take back your mornings and your life, this is it. Let's get started together. Eleanor, a 67-year-old retired librarian, came to me feeling utterly defeated. Every single morning she woke up with a dry mouth that felt like sandpaper, an intense craving for sweets that haunted her from the moment she opened her eyes, and a heavy headache pounding behind her temples. She believed she was doing the right thing by starting her day with a big glass of orange juice, convinced that it was healthy and full of vitamins. But instead of feeling refreshed, she found herself even more exhausted, and her blood sugar numbers were spiking dangerously high before breakfast even ended. When I first suggested she switch to a large glass of warm water with lemon and a pinch of cinnamon, Eleanor looked at me like I was suggesting magic. But she trusted me, and she agreed to try. She prepared it each night before bed so it would be ready to greet her in the morning. And after just 2 weeks, she started noticing small miracles happening in her body. Her dry mouth slowly faded, and she no longer woke up desperate for sweets. The crushing headaches became less frequent and eventually disappeared completely. But what truly amazed Eleanor was how much lighter and more alive she felt. She described it as if a heavy blanket had been lifted off her body, allowing her to breathe and move more freely again. Her morning blood sugar readings, which had once been a source of dread, started to stabilize. Eleanor began to look forward to mornings for the first time in years. Hydration is so much more than just drinking water. Overnight, your body works hard to repair and detoxify itself, leaving you slightly dehydrated by the time you wake up. This dehydration thickens your blood, making it harder for glucose to enter your cells effectively. By starting your day with warm water, you gently wake up your digestive system and improve circulation. The lemon adds natural vitamin C and supports your liver in flushing out toxins, while the cinnamon helps improve insulin sensitivity and adds a comforting warmth to your drink. Some of my patients also add a few slices of fresh ginger to their morning water to enhance its anti-inflammatory benefits. The key is to keep it simple and consistent. I recommend using about 300–400 ml of warm water, not hot, half a lemon squeezed in, and a pinch, about 1/4 teaspoon, of ground cinnamon. Drink it slowly. Savor each sip as a moment of self-care and empowerment. Beyond the physical benefits, there's a deep emotional reward in creating this morning ritual. Many seniors feel anxious about their mornings because they don't know what their glucose numbers will look like, or how they'll feel. This small, deliberate act of hydrating becomes a grounding moment of control and calm. It's your private promise to yourself that you're choosing health and stability over chaos and fear. After adopting this habit, Eleanor shared that she not only felt better physically but also felt more confident and proud of herself. She no longer started her day with panic or frustration, but with hope and determination. And seeing that transformation in her eyes, from doubt to quiet strength, is what inspires me every single day. If Eleanor could reclaim her mornings and find joy in a simple glass of warm water, you can too. Your first drink each morning isn't just liquid. It's the beginning of a new chapter in how you care for yourself and fight back against diabetes. Gerald, a 72-year-old retired music teacher, spent years believing that movement was something only young, energetic people should worry about. He thought mornings were for sitting quietly with a newspaper and a cup of strong coffee. By the time he finished his first cup, his blood sugar would already be high, and he felt so tired he could hardly finish his crossword puzzle. When he first came to see me, Gerald's fasting blood sugar was consistently over 160, and his energy levels were sinking lower each week. He complained of stiff knees, swollen ankles, and a deep fatigue that kept him chained to his chair for most of the day. Worse, he had begun to feel a growing fear of falling, which only pushed him deeper into inactivity. I explained to Gerald that gentle movement in the morning isn't about breaking a sweat or running a marathon. It's about waking up the body and signaling to your cells that it's time to use glucose as fuel. Even 10 to 15 minutes of light movement can help muscles pull sugar out of the bloodstream, lower morning spikes, and set a more stable blood sugar pattern for the rest of the day. At first, Gerald hesitated. He worried about hurting himself or overdoing it. So, we started small. Each morning before his coffee, he stood up and did gentle stretches, reaching his arms overhead, rotating his shoulders, and slowly twisting side to side to loosen his spine. After a week, he began adding short walks around his garden. At first, he only managed a few laps, but little by little, his confidence grew. After 1 month, Gerald's mornings transformed completely. He told me that he felt a new spark in his step. His knees felt less stiff, his back no longer ached the way it used to, and his energy lasted beyond breakfast and into the afternoon. His fasting blood sugar began to drop steadily, and he finally saw numbers under 130 for the first time in years. Movement also triggers the release of endorphins, the body's natural, happy hormones. This not only helps you feel more positive and calm, but can also reduce stress hormones that interfere with blood sugar control. Gerald found that his morning anxiety began to fade away, replaced by a quiet confidence and a renewed sense of freedom. For seniors, morning movement doesn't have to be fancy or complicated. You can try simple activities like standing calf raises at the kitchen counter, gentle yoga poses using a chair for support, or slow, mindful walks around your living room if going outside isn't an option. The goal is to get your blood flowing, loosen your joints, and tell your body it's time to be awake and alive. One of my favorite suggestions for patients is what I call the sunrise stretch. Open your arms wide as if you're greeting the morning sun, take a deep breath in, and gently bend forward to touch your knees or shins. Repeat this motion a few times, moving slowly and with intention. This simple action opens the chest, stretches the back, and brings warmth to the entire body. Gerald often tells me now that his morning movement routine has become his favorite part of the day. It gives him a few precious moments to connect with his body, enjoy the quiet sounds of the morning, and feel grateful for each new day. Instead of fearing his mornings, he now sees them as a time of strength and personal victory. Watching Gerald's journey reminded me of the incredible resilience hidden inside each of us, waiting for a chance to shine. You don't need a gym membership or expensive equipment to transform your health. You just need a little courage to take that first gentle step. If Gerald can go from fearing every sunrise to greeting it with open arms and steady legs at 72, imagine what you can achieve. Your body is waiting for you to wake it up, to move it with kindness, and to show it that you are still in charge, not diabetes. Margaret, a 70-year-old former florist, believed for years that a quick sweet bun with a cup of strong coffee was all she needed to jumpstart her mornings. She loved the convenience, and she thought the sugar gave her that needed burst of energy to handle her day. But behind that temporary rush was a dangerous game her body was playing, a roller coaster of blood sugar spikes and crashes that left her shaky, lightheaded, and emotionally drained by mid-morning. When Margaret first came to me, she shared how she often felt weak before lunch, sometimes needing to sit down suddenly because of dizziness. She also mentioned her constant cravings for more sweets and her frustration with unpredictable blood sugar numbers. I could see the exhaustion in her eyes, the silent struggle she fought each morning just to feel normal. I explained to Margaret that breakfast isn't just about filling your stomach quickly. For seniors with diabetes, breakfast is a critical opportunity to set the metabolic tone for the entire day. When you choose simple carbohydrates and sugary foods, your body breaks them down rapidly, flooding your bloodstream with glucose. This causes a sharp spike in blood sugar levels, followed by a quick crash that triggers hunger, cravings, and emotional swings. I encouraged her to try a breakfast rich in protein and fiber, foods that digest more slowly and help stabilize blood sugar. Margaret was hesitant at first. She wasn't sure she'd enjoy a savory breakfast and worried it would be too much work. But with a little guidance, she agreed to give it a try. She began her mornings with 2 boiled eggs, a small avocado sliced and sprinkled with a pinch of salt, and a bowl of warm oatmeal mixed with chia seeds and a few crushed walnuts. Within just a few days, she noticed a surprising change. She felt fuller for longer, her energy stayed steady throughout the morning, and her cravings for sweets nearly disappeared. Protein supports muscle health, which is vital as we age. It also helps you feel satisfied and reduces the temptation to snack on sugary treats later in the day. Fiber, meanwhile, acts like a brake on glucose absorption. It slows down how quickly sugar enters your bloodstream, preventing those dangerous spikes and sudden drops that can leave you feeling drained and irritable. Many of my patients tell me that after switching to a protein and fiber-rich breakfast, they feel more in control of their mornings and less anxious about their blood sugar readings. They describe feeling grounded, like they have a solid foundation to build the rest of their day on. Margaret began to enjoy the peaceful rhythm of her mornings. Instead of rushing through breakfast, she started taking a few extra minutes to prepare her meal mindfully. She began to savor each bite, feeling the warmth of her oatmeal, the creaminess of her avocado, and the comforting richness of her eggs. Breakfast turned into a gentle ritual of self-care rather than a hurried moment of survival. Within a month, Margaret's blood sugar readings improved dramatically. She no longer experienced those dreaded mid-morning crashes, and her afternoon moods became more stable and positive. The constant cycle of sugar highs and lows that had once dictated her day began to fade away. I still remember the joy in Margaret's voice when she told me she finally felt in charge of her mornings again. She no longer feared feeling weak or faint before noon. Instead, she started planning small garden walks and even joined a local seniors painting group, something she had always wanted to do but never had the energy for. Choosing a smart, protein-rich breakfast is not about denying yourself pleasure. It's about nourishing your body in a way that supports your strength, steadies your energy, and empowers you to enjoy your day to the fullest. It's a loving act of kindness you give to yourself every morning. If Margaret can turn her chaotic mornings into a calm, strong, and joyful start at 70, so can you. Your breakfast can be your secret weapon, your foundation of power, and your quiet promise to yourself that today you choose to lead, not follow, your diabetes. When you weave these 3 habits together, hydrating wisely, moving gently, and fueling your body with a smart, protein-rich breakfast, you build a powerful morning routine that becomes your shield against diabetes. Instead of waking up with fear and uncertainty, you wake up with clarity, purpose, and a calm strength that carries you through the day. Imagine Eleanor greeting the morning sun with a warm glass of healing water, feeling her body lighten with each sip. Picture Gerald stepping into his garden, breathing in the fresh air as he stretches his arms toward the sky, his joints thanking him with every gentle move. See Margaret sitting by her kitchen window, savoring her hearty breakfast, feeling her energy rising softly like the morning light. These aren't distant dreams or stories meant for someone else. They are real moments experienced by people over 60 who decided to take control of their mornings, and in doing so, reclaimed their freedom. Every day you have the power to choose, to let diabetes dictate your life, or to lead it with confidence and joy. Starting tomorrow, you can make these changes. You can fill your first glass with warm water, lemon, and cinnamon. You can take those first gentle steps and stretch your body, even if it's just for a few minutes. You can prepare a breakfast that supports and loves you back instead of pushing you into dangerous sugar swings. I've seen these habits transform lives, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. My patients often tell me they feel a sense of pride they haven't felt in years, a quiet victory each morning that builds into something bigger over time. You deserve that victory too. So, will you join Eleanor, Gerald, and Margaret in creating mornings that protect and strengthen you? Will you step into each sunrise knowing you are taking real, powerful action for your health? Comment 1 below if you're ready to start tomorrow, or 0 if you still need time to think it over. I promise you, I'll be here cheering for you either way. You deserve to feel alive, strong, and free every single morning, no matter your age.